Hello and welcome to the Heretic Mansion. I'm your host, John.
I'm Terrence.
I'm Andreas.
Oh, I'm Neos, but you can call me Ant.
And I am Patrick.
That's right. So you probably recognize these people from the other podcast if you're like one of the 10 people that listens to it, the Amala Network podcast. So because the person that's in charge of editing them takes forever and they don't have that many followers to begin with, we're actually going to be merging them with Heretic Mansion.
And not the owner because, who cares about him?
Yeah.
I'm joking. Well, we do
He
care.
doesn't get enough ad revenue to join.
Yeah, well, he's probably going to join us on future episodes, just not this one. But also, it seems I just think it's kind of pointless to have two different SMT podcasts with many of the same people on them.
Yeah,
So,
that's
figured,
you see, the thing is, when we started it, I had the idea of actually just using your podcast as a forefront. Like, I just wanted to join it. Like, I was really intrigued because that pretty much after when Cathedrals of Shadows went down, I started listening to your podcasts, and you like you threw out a couple episodes. I've listened to a bit, and when just a certain time you like you guys weren't uploading, and I mean for the same reason, not many people, or you didn't have enough people on the podcast, so
right?
I figured, I thought it would be a great idea since our podcast is pretty much not. I wouldn't say it would. It started out good because we were enthusiastic about it, and then down the line it started to just die off. And I this is for the best. I'm not really disappointed. I'm just kind of disappointed in the fact that we couldn't continue the podcast, and the podcast couldn't grow. But then again, you've been running it for a while now, and you pretty much know, like, you've got a good following. And I mean, from the future episodes I've seen, the sorry, not the future episodes, but the previous episodes, you had good feedback. So
Right.
I mean, I'm totally optimistic about this whole merger type thing. Only if it's like it's literally just us coming over. Um,
Yeah,
so
that's
it really isn't like it just still feels like home in a
yeah.
sense.
The thing is, the main reason it's been a while since the last recording is really just it was difficult to get. I couldn't really find anybody else willing to do it. Like I would have asked these guys, but again, they were on the other podcast, and Jeff couldn't do it with me because he's got problems with his throat. And because he
Yeah,
lives in Canada, he has to wait a long time before he can get any health care, but at least it's free.
I mean, here's the thing. I mean, me and Patrick live in Canada, so it depends really in the area you live. I don't know where Jeff lives
He lives in
specifically, but
Halifax.
okay, well, that
Oh,
would
okay.
make sense.
That makes a little more sense now.
Yeah, like the accommodation for healthcare is pretty much probably low down there in comparison to some place like Ontario, where I mean the availability is still cumbersome, but you can't really do anything about that because first of all it's free, and second of all a lot of people get sick. Even this time around during the winter time, it's pretty much a
Yeah,
uh
well,
season.
the thing is, because it's free, doctors usually go to America because they get paid more money.
Mm.
So that's one of the downsides of having free healthcare.
Yeah.
No, that's true. Anyways, I guess that's enough about Canada. I guess I could just introduce myself. Uh, I guess for this, what was it, the second or third time? I've been on your podcast twice,
Second.
right? Pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is second.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or third time. I don't know. Anyways, I am Neos Antrax. If you've known me on YouTube, I also go by Ant. So if you want to call me that, that's totally fine. Basically, I run a YouTube channel. I do mostly music extensions and whatnot. It first kind of just started out of me just kind of uploading Kamen Rider episodes to YouTube. And then when Toei or the people who own Kamen Rider got my ass for it, that's how I kind of just converted it into a gaming channel for Smash, and then after that, it kind of just converted into something else. And well, right now it's just music extensions, SMT hacks, and other crafty video memes and whatnot. So that's what's kind of the history in a nutshell of what my YouTube was. And I really just wanted to go forward with, just doing different things in general, pretty much with the SMT community and probably other communities down the line. But yeah, that's pretty much what I do. Um, we're also a part of a Facebook Mega 10 group, so if you guys are interested in that,
Yeah, I'll put a
like,
link
you
to
should
that
really
down in the
just, yeah,
description.
you can hit it up if you're on Facebook. I guess, I mean, it's a good way, if because I know a lot of people who go to college or university use Facebook a lot for messaging, their classmates, or just exchanging notes. And hey, if you want to do something on the side, that's a thing. It totally is hobby run. So yeah, the only problem is beware of shit posting. I mean, if you're not a fan of that, to join.
Yeah.
um like it The person who owns it at the moment kind of likes to do whatever they want with it. um and it's really annoying because we've kind of like went through rough spots when it came to shit posting in the group.
Like there was that
And
one day where they spammed a bunch of anti-Persona 4 shit posts and we lost a bunch of
yeah,
members.
like, I'm not a
Yeah.
big fan of Persona 4, and I mean, everybody who knows me, they know that I really don't like Persona 4. But I don't go on my way to really change somebody's opinion on the game. Um, if I hate it, that doesn't mean you must be entitled to hate it. Though the posting that was going on that day kind of just gave up the vibe or the tone of our group, and really just set what it was at the time. And then we had a lot of people leaving.
Yeah, and
It was
on top
really
of that,
unfortunate.
I that was when I was at Taiyocon, which is it's
Yeah,
an anime convention that has a lot of Persona stuff in it. Like Lotus Juice and Shikoko Hirato were there. I actually
yeah.
recorded one of their songs at the concert and uploaded it to the channel. But I was going to advertise the group some there, but I mean, I'm not going to advertise the group if they're going to go in and see a bunch of Persona 4 shit posting.
Yeah, it was honestly horrible in my opinion. Like, I understand Persona 4 for some people is a fan favorite, and I mean, is the I guess the best game out there for some fans. Uh Honestly, like, if you like the game, that's totally fine. But like, what our group was entitled to do was to teach people about other niche titles, not just Persona 4, not just any of Persona games in general, but niche titles in the series that really just built up to what Persona 4 was. And I mean, that's the whole purpose. The fact that we had shit posting going on at the time was really just bad for the reputation of the group.
It wasn't even
And
good shit posting. Like, I enjoy
yeah,
myself a good shit post every now and then, but that,
yeah,
no.
I mean, it's totally it was just horrible at the time, because I was feeling optimistic. Because I mean, when John was going to TaioCon, I was like, hey John, you should totally advertise our group, or somehow get it out in the open, so we can gain some more followers, and just have a good old time in the group. And that couldn't happen, unfortunately, because of what John said. And I kind of feel really bad, because it was a missed opportunity. It was an opportunity that we could have taken to really just put ourselves in the Facebook community, as well, just other communities in general. Just give people something, really.
Hmm.
Um, like I said, unfortunate, but hey, there's nothing we can do about that. As for the other podcasts, like, we've been doing it alongside. We've been consistent for the first few months while we started doing it. However, when we reached episode 9, sorry, everything from episode 8 or 9 forward, we started losing that consistency, and the owner that decided to not just edit them. Like I would like see some episodes that were really just unedited, where we would have some crude humor that wasn't really a part of what the podcast was, not like just left in there. It was kind of just embarrassing to just hear the playback on YouTube, though it didn't really gain that much traction. But at the same time, that's something we should take in consideration about our viewers and people who look at the content, and whether they're going to take us seriously or not. Like that's totally like that's the main factor we need to get down. If the content's clean and it is suitable for the audience, that's totally fine. I mean, here and there we'd probably like swear or say some swear words, but that's totally fine. um we it's a podcast, but then again, you just need to be a little civil or whatnot to the situation. Like we would have our crazy times, and we would want that edited out because that was more of like a personal space, right? Let's say we said a sensitive topic in a chat that affected one of the members on the podcast. That wouldn't be that wouldn't be allowed. But then again, the person who owned it didn't really edit these stuff out, and here we are, looking a little embarrassed. So yeah, this is kind of the reason why we kind of decided to merge over. I think looking forward with Heretic Mansion, we're going to do a good job. I know John has been doing a very good job when he started this, and I was really hyped. I feel honored to be on here. Yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say.
Yeah, and we're probably going to go back to a more consistent uploading schedule.
Yeah.
I'm also trying to like just expand the channel and upload other things. Like during the last few months that I haven't uploaded an episode, I've just been uploading some other YouTube videos. Like the other day, I uploaded the collection of the vocal soundtracks from Persona 5, and that video seems to be getting a decent amount of views. And before that, I think at TaioCon, like I said, I uploaded the part of the concert, and before that, I made one of those Hitler Reacts videos when Persona 5 got delayed in the West.
Again. Yeah, like totally fine. Like with like it's the same thing with me. Like I didn't want my channel to just be just music extensions. I wanted it to be different. I wanted to be something like there, you could just have both somehow. Like keep an entertaining upload, right? I decided to branch off once I mean, obviously my previous channel got taken down because of copyright strikes from Persona extensions, and kind of caught me off guard one day because I was being really ballsy with the uploads. And I was like, I should have really unlisted it, but I was just being ballsy and seeing how far it could go. And then, of course, it got taken down, and
then her channel.
Yeah, I know, and the recovery was really good. I managed to get up most of my extensions that I did before because they were like previously saved to my hard drive. Some of them I still need to recover. I know I had the Apocalypse playlist. It was pretty much almost complete. I'm still missing a couple extensions that I need to re-upload because of quality. Quality in some of the videos weren't consistent, as well as some of the content, like the memes and stuff, didn't make it over. However, I'm pretty sure I've shared it to Facebook and other places, or they probably like I probably have an archived copy on my hard drive. But then again, yeah, the recovery was okay, and then I decided to make another alt, have that just upload Persona 5 stuff, which I should have done in the first place. Now that I look at it, because I was like, I'm such an idiot for doing that, really. But yeah, like Heretic Mansion, I guess when if you guys haven't noticed or actually know about it, uh, me and John and Patrick are gonna be meeting up at Anime North in Canada, actually. So just stay tuned to the channel or stay tuned to Heretic Mansion, where John might upload some things at Anime North or the like what we can get out of the SMT fan base in Canada, because I'm totally unaware of the SMT fan base, whether it be Persona or not.
Yeah, like
I really want to know about that fan base here because it's so niche. So I just want to see who I can communicate with while I'm there, as well. Just kind of bring out our group to the forefront and say, "Oh, hey, I'm also in this group. If you guys are interested in joining, just be aware of certain things."
Yeah.
We might also just upload some videos of us bullshitting around.
Yeah, why not? I don't mind that.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, but yeah, we have a lot of things planned, and I hope you guys will be there to see it.
Yeah.
Alright, so now that that's out of the way, let's talk about Persona 5 news. What little news we have.
Well, there's a lot if you want to count pretty much everything. But with Persona 5, the delays, the second delay we got for the April delay, actually, they've decided to push it back. And in exchange, they've also announced dual audio, and I wanted to know how you guys feel about that.
I
Like,
mean,
just-
I mean, honestly, when Persona 5, like when we started getting English trailers, there were people that were just constantly begging for dual audio, and I'm like, Atlas is working really hard to dub this game for you, and you're here asking for dual audio. Like, you don't give a shit about all the work that's being put into the localization.
They don't, because the minority who want dual audio are the ones who also watch censored gaming.
Yep.
Exactly. And I feel like with censored gaming and sites like Kotaku and just controversial topics that you would see on Google just pop up, oh, this so and so is getting censored, so and so is going to get their age change, and it's been like so controversial. But when it came back, way back when we lost content, like back the Super Famicom days or the Super Nintendo days, where we actually lost core content for absolute no reason.
Yeah, like in
Sword Adventures.
Yeah, like back then we actually lost substantial content through localization process, and now things are so minor, and people
like
are
a costume or a character's age.
Yeah, and people are even more vocal. It's mind numbing how.
Be thankful you get the game.
It's mind-numbing how ignorant people are on how like these things have to happen in order for games to release.
Exactly.
You remember the Fates controversy last year?
I mean, everybody knew about.
Oh my god! Everyone knows. You don't have to like Fire Emblem. You don't have to like Nintendo to know about it. It was blown so far like out of proportion. Everyone knows.
Also, shout out to Simply Dad for uploading that video on how Fire Emblem Fates is unoriginal.
Wait, did he actually?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of an old video, but still.
It's a really dated video, but if you go up on his channel, you'll see it. And he
Like
literally compares scene by scene from Fire Emblem Fates to Digital Devil Saga, and it's hilarious how they both connect.
I like his Undertale video.
I gotta watch that.
Yeah. What a guy. Simply Dad, never change.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get him in here.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Simply Dad or Riot.
Oh my god.
But anyway, it's just when people bitch about censorship, I just say be thankful you got the game.
Yeah.
Like now we're in a time now when we're getting more and more Japanese games than we ever have. Just be thankful you're getting them. Like, hell, we got Galgun. Like, if we can get Galgun, then we'll get just about anything.
And the local and you also have to remember that the localization processes are faster and faster now than ever.
Right.
I mean, companies now recognize that there's a fan base
Yeah,
for a certain
but
game.
yeah, exactly. But there's also like they are concerned less about the Japanese consumers going behind their backs and ordering the English versions of their games now, even with how much.
I know, like
easier it is to get.
that's their own controversy. But then again, like you told me, like Japan has no MSRP, so anybody can charge whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, because they don't have an MSRP. Because like if you were to look at a bunch of games just coming out in the time frame, like you'll notice like how for the prices vary so much. It's because it's all developer focused. Like it's up to the developer on well, the publisher I should say, on how much a game should cost, and they decide how much a game costs based on the content the game has, essentially.
Like, yeah, I remember seeing advertisements, like Japanese advertisements for games, and it would say something like 20,000 yen. That's like $200. I'm like, $200 for a game?
Here's an example. Dragon Quest 8 retailed last year in Japan for 5,900 and something yen. So basically, it was $60 for a 3DS game. Just let that sink in for a second. Like, there's no MSRP. Like, Fire and Fate, for example, retailed for 50. Same with Awakening, and some games in Japan are like 3,900 yen. It all depends.
Yeah, it really just
200
depends on
or
the
20,000 was a bit of an
developer and what they put it out
exaggeration, but I've
for.
seen them
Yes.
around 10,000 yen.
Well, yeah. Well, for special editions, I've seen games go around that range.
Persona 5 especially was way too expensive when I first bought it. I was like, the fuck? It was like when the conversion ended, it was like, wasn't it 13,000 yen or something?
Yeah, it was 13,000 yen before shipping.
I got so little for it though. Like I got like a fucking Vita case pouch that I use for my 3DS. Like I mean, I don't have a Vita, but my 3DS XL will fit in here, so might as well use it for that. And yeah, that was just like not much. Like when I got the package, I'm like, I wasn't surprised by it.
Yeah,
Like-
just remember, just go to Anime North and pawn it off to some shitty weebs.
Hopefully I bring it along with me because like
Don't worry, I'm going to remind you.
yeah. But yeah, that disc collection that came with it was totally disappointing. Honestly, like
Persona 1 and 2.
Just going off topic here, if you don't know about the 5 collection disc that comes with in the Japanese version, and the reason why Atlas USA decided not to release the other discs, it's because those are tracks that we know about already. The worst part is Persona 1 and 2 don't get any love from that track, so they like that whole disc collection. They don't get any remixed, to my knowledge, from what I've listened to. They didn't have any of the remixed tracks. They felt like pre-order discs for the actual games that were just rehashed in this one. However, for Persona 3 and Persona 4, you had like at least 4 and 5, like at least a couple tracks on each disc that has been remixed probably once or twice, or maybe 3 times in the past by other artists. And I'm like, I don't get it. Why are you leaving 1 and 2 out when they deserve most of the forefront? It's the 20th anniversary of Persona. It's not the 20th anniversary of 3 and 4. Which I mean,
Yeah, Terrence, go ahead.
yeah, Terrence, go ahead.
It's because they don't give a shit about the first two. They only care about 3 and 4 because people they just circle jerk 3 and 4 a lot because people know.
You can argue the fact that they don't care about it, but if they went out of the way to recognize SMT as Persona 0, I don't know. I really don't know what Atlas decides half the time. Also, going off topic with the DLCs, like in the actual package itself, you get the DLC costumes. So you get the DLC costumes for 3 and 4
3 and
specifically,
4 again.
and not 1 and 2 at all. Like they just give you Izanagi Picaro and what was the other one? Orpheus Picaro and Orpheus pretty much, and then the avatars for 3 and 4. It's just weird. I felt like they could have at least expanded the DLC more towards the other 2 games as well, because then it would be actually worth the 217 CAD I paid it for. I think I don't know what the conversion is from 13,000 yen, but it's around that ballpark. Then again, I got taxed to shit because I ended up paying like 30 something dollars in taxes when I went to pick it up, and I was like,
and you were importing it too.
Yeah, I was importing it, so it was even worse.
Yeah.
Hopefully, well, I've eventually worked and got back that money, but then again, I'm like, yeah, there's no way I'm importing something like that ever again. If anything, I would probably just be importing it from mainline, because mainline, I love mainline over Persona, but like I have my reasons for it.
Okay, but
yeah.
Going back to the delay of Persona 5, Atlas said that the reason for the delay wasn't because of dual audio. They said it was because they just wanted to, like,
refine
put
the game,
extra work into the dub. But I'm just thinking, since when do games get delayed because the dub isn't perfect?
That doesn't make any sense.
I think what happened was they weren't. The dub is taking them longer than they expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a bad, like this one game I remember fucking called Trouble with Neos. That game was a fucking awful mess with the voice acting.
When it comes to localization, I felt like ever since they got acquired from Sega, they've been flip flopping a lot. Like they haven't been on their A game, I'd say. When it came to Apocalypse and being localized, they saw it as an afterthought. But
and it took
when it
7 months.
When it came to King of Fighters and all those other random games that they decided to localize for Sega or other companies, they've spent time and effort into games that they don't even own. And I mean, you can argue a fact it's all about the business, and they're going to make more money than what their niche titles are. But like then again, it doesn't mean that your niche titles have to lose quality in order for something you need to make money off of, right?
Especially when it's your flagship franchise.
Exactly. Shin Megami Tensei and Persona, the 2 titles that and also Etrian Odyssey. God forbid I'm leaving out the small guy of the niche title of Atlas, but yeah, like those titles need the utmost care. I mean, Persona is fine. Like, to be honest, you can really just throw look what happened to Persona Q. People still bought that, even though it wasn't it was the worst selling. I wouldn't say. Would it be the worst selling out of the Persona franchise?
Well, I mean, unless you count 1 and 2. Did it sell better than 1 and 2?
I don't know. I'd assume it would.
Does anyone want to look this up?
I'll look it up.
All right.
Yeah, but then again, Persona Q, we'll have titles like that. Like, it just proves that Atlas can just make money off the brand itself. They don't really need to put too much effort, but they have to put effort into localizing, though. Like, localizing is probably one of the key things that they need to do for Persona 5 to be successful. However, it shouldn't take them this long. Like, I felt like it could have been done earlier, because they could have grabbed the scripts already and have it translated for when they need to insert the scripts into the game. Also, there's another thing that they could have done with Apocalypse themselves. Like, Apocalypse released back in February 2016. They had at least 1 or 2 weeks to grab the scripts from Apocalypse, and Apocalypse is a way shorter game. It's not really text heavy. They could have just easily translated the scripts and inserted them on release, and just have Apocalypse actually release around the same time that SMT4 actually released, which was May. SMT4, by the way, took about like 2 to 3 months to localize. I don't understand why it took Apocalypse to localize for that long and have glitches.
Okay, so Persona Q sold better than both Persona 1 and 2 on PSP worldwide.
Then again, reinforcing the fact that anything that they throw out Persona related for 3 and 4 will sell guaranteed, even how shitty it is. Like, Persona Q is arguably has the most trashiest story in the franchise.
I mean, I think the gameplay is fun, but the story is
the gameplay. Okay, the gameplay is okay. I have no problem with it. Like, you give me a dungeon crawler, I'll play it. That's fine. Like, I have no problem with Etrian Odyssey, and this is literally just an Etrian Odyssey game. So
the story just, and not to mention, on top of being just bad, it's pointless. Like, the story is canon in the Persona universe, except none of the characters remember it.
Yeah, it's a little weird how that's set up. And then again, I don't know what Atlas does on their free time. Then again, Atlas USA, I can't really say much about them. Their actions in 2016 and following into 2017 have not been the greatest. And right. I don't really care for Persona 5 anymore. The fact that the hype for this game has died down, like, some people are so hyped and optimistic for it. I'm like, I don't really care about this game. I've played the Japanese version. I'm almost finished the goddamn game.
I mean, I remember seeing more people talk about Persona 5 when SMT Apocalypse came out than Apocalypse, or in North America.
And that's what I said to myself. I'm like, you guys are waiting for Persona 5, but there's a game that you could be trying out, SMT for Apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
Has story it has more story-driven characters this time around, and it's arguably better than some entries in the mainline series that like they've introduced elements that they haven't used before.
I'd say if you haven't played mainline, start with Apocalypse.
Hey, Apocalypse was the first mainline game I finished, so
congratulations.
Yeah,
but like, even like for mainline in general, like, I mean, I can understand why some people don't want but it's like so empty and it's so boring, the battles are tedious, and the game engine's really clunky and all this stuff. And I'm like, but you play games like Persona, and you play, or like Persona 3 and 4, and you play games like what, Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, and those games are dated. And I mean, like, if you went out of the way in the effort to play those games, I mean, you could have done the same effort towards those games as well.
You could have put the same effort towards mainline, which like, well, the newer mainline games at least aren't as
bad as the one before.
Yeah, like exactly.
And I mean, there's only one mainline game that hasn't been really localized or has a translation, in SMTF. You don't have to play that, but that's what started the Persona series.
The first Persona game,
and that's the very first Persona game I've beaten. TF. Ironically, that's funny. It's like, oh, I finished Persona 0. Oh, what's that? SMTF. Oh, what's that? Nobody knows what it is.
It's a game where a kid becomes a statue.
So at this point, like, it's a tough topic, but like I'm just wondering, do you think like more Westerners, I should say, have played SMTF or Fire Emblem Gaiden?
As of this moment, Gaiden, because of the fucking
Gaiden, because Fire Emblem is more popular than mainline.
Yeah, and Persona in general.
Especially with Echoes coming out, people are gonna flock to play Gaiden now.
And then no one's gonna finish it because the game is archaic as fuck.
Yeah.
Probably some people will. But
I mean, going back to Persona 5 about the whole hype thing, I mean, I was crazy hyped when I first heard about it. Now I'm just kind of, I'm gonna buy it, I want to play it, but I'm not dying to play it. And the main reason for that is the 2-year delay. 2.5 for North America and Europe.
When I first heard about it and when I first saw pre-orders, I'm like, oh yeah, the experience and the hype was fine for it. I was totally like, I had my, differences from other people. I wasn't really that hyped, but I was hyped to like actually just share the interactions with others. Um, then when I just kept hearing about the delays, I started stopped caring for it in general. And then when the game came out, I didn't really care about spoilers because at that point I was like, it's out in Japan, and spoilers don't really phase me, and it shouldn't really phase anybody because you've been waiting for how many years now?
You're gonna play the game eventually.
You're pretty much gonna play the game eventually, and most of the spoilers are in moon runes unless you go and search it up on the SMT wiki. I mean that's your fault, but you didn't hear it from me. Um, like that's the thing. A lot of people like to blame out of context spoilers, but I'm like, you don't know what's going on, and you're here waiting for April release date. So I don't think it will affect you in any way. I mean, if you have a vivid memory and you keep thinking about it, that's not my problem. But that's just my opinion, though. I mean, spoilers in general, like God forbid you get spoiled, but I'm just saying the
rip spoiler.
The delay has been too long for me to not like. I don't care. I don't really care anymore, to be honest.
It's pretty bad when I accidentally just start talking P5 spoilers in normal conversation.
I think we'll talk about this later in the episode, but I'm not trusting Atlas with a first release date we get.
Okay.
From now on, whenever Atlas announces a game, I'm gonna expect delays.
Yeah. So yeah, let's transfer on to a different topic because we've been dwelling on this one too long. It's obviously more about Persona 5, but the Atlas has been slowly releasing miniature trailers, and the font, like everything that I've seen from these trailers and the localization, yeah, they did well. The game almost seems complete. I think they're probably just brushing up and just figuring out the knickknacks of where the glitches are, which they should have done with Apocalypse, but then again, nobody cares about that game.
And we haven't gotten a patch yet.
It's funny because like SMT4 Final within its first week got a bug patch within its first week.
Yeah, and we still haven't got one yet in the good old West.
It's safe to say that they're probably not gonna patch it.
No.
It's not gonna happen. It's embarrassing on Atlas's part, like how little they care for their game.
Was the European version of the game fixed?
No, it wasn't.
No,
the European literally just got a copy pasted version of the actual US version.
Yeah.
And to add insult to injury, they gave a half-ass excuse too.
Yeah, our QA testers were too good. That's where they're
quote unquote too good at the game to test it properly.
That is the worst excuse I've ever heard.
It is the worst excuse you've ever heard. Like,
I mean, I myself didn't encounter any glitches, but I believe other people when they say they did.
Yeah, I personally encountered a glitch that wouldn't let me finish one minor quest.
Especially most of them when they've been showing up on Reddit. Most of them were showing up Reddit. Most of it was showing on the SMT community on Facebook, as well as some other places of the internet like SMTG. They've been posting their glitches and whatnot. I mean, I've been like DMing John Harden, about the whole glitch thing, and I mean, he says, "Oh, just send me it," and that's okay. I had one guy that came up to me actually personally and say, "Oh, hey, if you can test out my save file, because apparently, mute your headphones if you're listening to this, but like this is a location specific area in Apocalypse called the Cosmic Egg. Apparently, there's some events that you trigger on the 5th floor, and if you trigger them in the wrong order, a certain door wouldn't open for you to go up onto the 6th floor." And that's what happened to this person. So I decided, oh, hey, since it's a bug, might as well see if it exists in the actual Japanese version.
And
it doesn't exist in a Japanese version. However, the event has been triggered that the one part wasn't like there was a one switch that wasn't like was triggered already, but it wasn't, and it wouldn't allow me to open the door whether in both versions because the event has already occurred. You can't proceed, so pretty much you're fucked. Like you would have to start over the game. And this guy, when I looked at his save file, had a lot of grind heavy demons that this guy's been grinding for a while now. Like level 99 demons. I mean, you want to lose all of that progress just because of one stupid glitch that you can't proceed? It's honestly ridiculous. And I mean, Atlas recognize that when you push out this game, expect game breaking, games that the game breaking glitches that will fuck up the player's experience.
This
and
was
not
actually
want to
a while
play
ago, but okay, go ahead.
Sorry, and the other thing is that if Atlas USA will take your saves and fix bugs, then why don't they just release a patch and fix it?
Exactly. I mean, it should be that easy, but
yeah, they're probably.
It really is that easy. They just don't care enough. They don't want to waste the resources to fix their god fucking game.
And when Persona.
Sorry, I'm pissed. Because it's a good game, ruined by some really shitty devs.
And when Persona 5 comes out, they're probably just going to be patching every little nitpicky bug that they get in it.
You know they will.
Yeah.
Because if they don't, those stupid personas are going to lynch their asses.
Exactly.
But as I was going to say, this actually happened to me, like, about 4 years ago when I was first playing Persona 3 digitally on my PS3. There was this save glitch, apparently, with that version of the game, and I just turned on my PS3, booted up the game, and my save file wasn't there. And it had about 40 hours on it.
That was the problem with Persona 3. Then with Nocturne, if you were playing on the True Demon route, you couldn't actually finish the game because it crashed when you fought Kagutsuchi.
Yeah. That's a little like really atrocious. Like I think I was playing Persona 3 myself, like FES, and I've lost about 20 hours at least into the game just because of me not saving often. And I mean, you know what they say, save often because you never know what will happen. The game kind of just randomly froze on.
Yeah, and I heard there were some frame rate issues with Digital Devil Saga on PS3 too.
Yeah,
but both versions of Digital Devil Saga had frame rate problems.
I know a lot of people like to claim like they don't have problems, but they do. They really do. Like even if it didn't happen to you, I mean, yeah, that's great. But what about the other people complaining about it? Like that's not great for them. You completed the game, but somebody couldn't because shitty coding, really. And I mean, it's just unfortunate. There's another thing I would want to talk about. Like, I understand the flack between the whole Persona fan base and just Persona fan base in general, because after when I saw the whole dual audio thing, it got me thinking. I'm like, you guys are really ungrateful. Even though, I mean, if I went out of my way to bash Atlas about mainline, I mean, I wouldn't do it because there's nothing gained from it.
Yeah, people were harassing John Harden on his Twitter about it.
It gets to a point where it's like the guy is just trying to get this game localized for you, and you decide, oh, hey, fuck him. I want my dual audio. Like, I've seen a lot of cringe-worthy comments about dual audio, and I'm like, is it really that important?
Especially,
so the game doesn't
like
matter?
I said, when these actors are putting so much work into dubbing the game.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate for people to be single-minded like that.
Yeah.
Also, there's... go ahead, Terrence.
I mean, that's what happens when you deal with the weeaboos.
And on the flip side, it's like where are these people complaining about dual audio in Persona 4 Golden or Persona 4 Dancing All Night?
I think they did.
Yeah, they did.
I'm pretty. Oh,
they did.
And they
Yes.
and they still didn't release. And I mean, I understand the whole reasoning behind that. I feel like the dual audio has to contribute somewhat to the delay because the licensing to get that. I mean, they would have to jump over hoops to get the Japanese licensing
It's a
for
lot
that.
of work.
It's a lot
And
of
on top
work.
of
So I'm
that,
assuming that contributes to the delay, even if it is or not, because it's not like an in-house made game like Square Enix, where Square Enix will just do their dubs inside their house pretty much and have it on every single console, like, or every single game they push out.
well, they can also afford to do things like worldwide
Yeah,
releases.
also
Atlas
because
can't.
because of that Final Fantasy 15 revenue, fam. Anyways,
Right.
yeah, when you compare a big company like Square Enix to Atlas, you see the differences. The fact that Atlas is going out this way to give you dual audio, it's not really necessary, but they're doing it anyways, and I feel like it contributes to the whole delay. But anyways, enough about the whole, Persona 5 thing. Let's move on to what is it? The 25th anniversary of SMT and the 10th anniversary of Etrian Odyssey, because I feel like we should mention Etrian Odyssey, even though it doesn't even get any love whatsoever. We should mention it at least
But the thing is,
somewhere in this game.
has anyone here actually played a lot of Etrian Odyssey though?
Unless you count Persona Q, no.
No,
I only
you can't.
I've played bits and pieces of Etrian Odyssey.
I've played about 10% of Untold 1, then I quit because I wasn't really impressed with my experience.
To be honest, when it comes to like Untold, I'm not too familiar with the newer entries. However, I know the newer entries are a little they're the popular ones. When it comes to older entries, because I started out with Etrian Odyssey 1, I was really just greeted with SJ's Strange Journey experience, actually, in Etrian Odyssey 1. But the first dungeon, the one problem with the first dungeon is it's just hard as balls. And it really just sets off that tone for the rest of the game, actually. Um, it's to the point where it's like almost like when I first played SMT, where it was just like I didn't know what to do, and I've been getting fucked over by demons, and now whenever I play SMT, it's easy. I felt like when I first played Etrian Odyssey, it was the same way. Um, yeah, but the whole aspect of Etrian Odyssey, they're pretty much based around core dungeon crawling, creating maps, and building teams and whatnot. Um, I think it's a good game. Like, I would totally put time into it if I wasn't busy with other things. But yeah, like there's nothing wrong with the actual game or the franchise itself. It just needs the one title that will give the push for the rest of the whole franchise itself. When I saw sorry, not SMT5, Etrian Odyssey 5 was a thing, right? And when I saw the trailers and everything for Etrian Odyssey 5, I was like, they've added a lot of new content to it that I feel like some people will love, even if you haven't played the actual series. Like, there's a lot of good things that came out from that game, like new classes and whatnot. I've been watching most of them when they were revealed on the Japanese Atlas Tube channel. But yeah, Etrian Odyssey, I think it's a good game. It's just really just like it depends. If you really just want, SMT, you just go to SMT. Etrian Odyssey is kind of just there if you wanted to play it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's about the best way to describe it.
There's nothing really what I can put on the game, but other than that, I can just say it's good. It's just an option, right? If you've played Persona, if you've played SMT, then Etrian Odyssey is another game you should play, because I mean, it's a part of them. Like, the elements are borrowed somewhat.
Yeah.
Um. Also, SMT 25th anniversary. That was unexpected. When I opened up my Twitter one, I saw a notification from the official SMT4 final a Japanese Twitter page, and they updated their name with the Mega 10 25th anniversary, all Japanese, and included a nice little graphic which listed SMT 1, 2, and 3, and then the symbols pointing in a star formation labeled next. And I was like, what's this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't use Twitter, but when I saw that, I'm like, holy shit, this must mean a new game's going to be announced.
I instantly retweeted that like my heart depended on it. Because I didn't know what the fuck it was. I opened up the website that was attached to that tweet, and it was under construction at the time. As soon as I like finished sharing it, that was pretty much it. They kind of just announced it. Then the Famitsu article came out recently with Yamai saying, we have something in store for fans, but we shouldn't reveal it just yet. He was trying to keep it as a secret or type of thing. It still is a secret. It still is a mystery after the Switch event that happened recently. Where at the Switch event, when Nintendo revealed their lineup for third-party developers in sorry, I dropped something in their lineup, Atlas was in one of them, and we were like shocked to see SMT being revealed.
Yeah.
It was something out of the blue. Like it caught us off guard because why would it be out of all the places at a Switch event revealed there? It's for the Switch. It's for the Switch console. I don't know. Like I'm assuming it is because of the exclusivity of it being there. It showed off demons on the Unreal Engine 4, which was really unexpected. Like Atlas, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if they've used that engine before, or they probably did. They probably did, but it was low key.
I mean, if they did, it was probably for Persona 5.
I highly doubt though for Persona 5.
I think that's something they built from the ground up.
I feel like that was on the Cryware engine, I believe.
Oh,
if you Google that, Cryware, the Cryware is also an SDK that some developers use. Even Nintendo uses Cryware.
Wait a minute, what was the engine that Catherine ran on?
I'm pretty sure the same engine.
Yeah, because I'm saying
most of the
Persona 5
assets
looks
that
a lot
were
like Catherine.
Yeah, most of the assets that were from Catherine was actually just a little bit copy pasted over a reference from Persona 5.
Okay.
Yeah, or that's what I assume. When it comes to Unreal Engine, it kind of I feel like the assets, people would argue the fact that the assets were reused from Persona 5, but I feel like they had this planned even before Tokyo Mirage Sessions was a thing. Like I feel like this was in the works for a couple of years now. Like this is not something new. Like that Odin model. I could see that. That Odin model must have been around when Apocalypse was a thing. And they said, "Oh, let's stash that away for when we actually need it." So when we saw that Odin model, I was like, "Holy fuck!" They're bringing Doi is permanently on the team. Doi is probably going to be doing this. He is going to be doing for Mega 10 for all the mainline entries.
And that certainly isn't a bad thing.
Nope, it isn't. I feel like also the demons that were used in that trailer were built from the ground up for the Unreal Engine itself. You can argue the fact that it was from Persona 5, but Persona 5, when you compare the two, I mean, you could do cell shading in Unreal Engine, but the quality of the models looked really different. I think it's just the shadows, the shadow and the lighting in the room in the scene,
and the fog
was just really just adjusted for that environment. And in general, like you would see like Unreal fan made projects like Mario and I don't know, like Zelda. Yeah, you would see those, and they were built from, and they themselves were built from the ground up, the environments and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like really just think about that concept for a bit, and then have it in a Mega 10 game, you pretty much have a Mega 10 game in Unreal Engine. But yeah, it just really caught us off guard. Yeah, I don't know what you guys thought about it, but I'm totally hyped for.
I mean, I'm gonna save up for a Switch. That's probably one of my other reasons for getting a Switch.
I mean, I would, Terrence, I would agree with you, but the thing is, in the trailer, we didn't really get any, other than just the demons and the fact that it's SMT, we didn't really get any info on anything else. Like, all we got was in development.
This is also true.
Because remember when Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem was announced, they said it was in development, and we got no word on it for 2.5 years.
I feel like that's not going to be the case anymore because the situation.
For Sharp FE, like they just didn't know what to do with it. Like there's a difference.
Stop calling Sharp FE you weeb. It's TMS here.
I don't really care what you guys call it, Sharp FE or TMS.
And well, to be fair, that was a collaboration between Nintendo and Atlas.
And
I mean, this is on the Switch, but it looks like just Atlas is working on it.
Due to the fact that Atlas really didn't know how to present this game, they've went through a lot of trials and errors, even like scrapping their initial idea at the start, which I feel like that was the whole reason why TMS was kind of just laid in the dark for so long. It's because that they didn't really have a solid idea on what to give this game.
Exactly.
You know what I think they did? I think they saw that the Wii U wasn't selling as well as they'd hoped, so somebody at Nintendo was like, hey, let's come up with this kick-ass idea that's going to get everyone hyped up to buy a Wii U. So then they came up with that.
Well, I bought a Wii U. I wouldn't say I regret my purchase. However, like the console itself, I had my fun times with it. It's really just a Nintendo console. You buy it just to have fun. Buy the games that Nintendo puts out. Like, I mean, Smash was a fad for the time being, and then I kind of just stopped because I really lost interest. The fan base for Smash really just grew bigger, nasty to the point where it's like I turned off my whole opinion for that game. I wouldn't really recommend it I would recommend it as a staple in this Wii U starter pack. However, it's not a game that I would be playing every day or enjoyable with other people because it isn't. Besides the fact, TMS, when I look at it, it's like, what was their initial idea? I really wanted to know.
Well, I heard in an article that they actually were making it, like an actual crossover with gameplay similar to Devil Survivor, but somewhere along the lines they just scrapped it and were like, let's make it about idols.
See, that's the thing.
That would have been a really cool idea because it would have been basically it would have been the Wii U's first like actual SRPG, and if they made it in Devil Survivor style, it would combine aspects from Fire Emblem. Exactly. And
that's what I was initially expecting. Like, heck, I was even like speculating what the game would look like. They would probably have
that's the thing. During that 2.5 year period of silence, we had all that time to just imagine what it was going to be like, and then the trailer was just like a slap in the face.
Yeah, it's like, nope, you're getting generic idol Mo trash, whatever you want to call it.
Idoru Moe Weeb trash. Goodness.
Like, honestly, like I don't see, like I'm not interested in genre. Yeah. As somebody who's been a fan of Mega 10 in general and who's used to the dark themes of Mega 10, I'm not used to it. Yeah. But like I can forgive. The game was
still decent, but
I can forgive the game itself, like the theme for the theme, because all I really cared about was the gameplay, and the gameplay was okay. It was up to my standards.
Graphics were pretty good too.
Yeah.
The graphics were amazing. I like the whole environments. Like, it reminded me more of like the PS2 era type of games. I wouldn't say it's like they could have done better, but like I would like to see what their initial idea was or what they had planned. I mean, that would have been more satisfying to look at than something like, what it is really today. Though I wouldn't say it's bad. It's kind of just
it's just there.
it's just there if you want to play it.
Here's my opinion on TMS. Just go play Majin Tensei 2.
Or Ronde.
Yeah.
Oh god.
If you
played Ronde because you didn't want to play TMS.
Wait, what'd you say, John?
You said you played Ronde because you didn't want to play TMS.
It's Ron.
Yeah.
Ron.
Guys, you're pronouncing it wrong. It's Ron.
Ron, whatever.
Rondo, which is on the box. And yes, I did fucking play Rondo because I said I'm sick of people trying to circle jerk and defend TMS.
Well, I mean,
and I
said, on the flip side, Sharp FE points to that to legitimately defend, like its battle system.
Like its battle system, it's fine. Everything else, I feel shit because I mostly skip over like the story events because Tsubasa is just really forced on the main character, and you can't really do anything about that. You can't break out of it. You're kind of just like locked in. Like a forced contract, pretty much.
Sharp FE would be a lot better if you could have your gay bromance with Toma. Because Toma's the only good character.
Toma, in my opinion, even though like Toma is like literally that generic anime guy. He isn't really. He reminds me most of tokusatsu actors and Kamen Rider and Super Sentai or Power Rangers, as it's known in the West. That's what that Toma alone reminds me of those archetypes from the media, and it's great because I mean I'm so used to that whole genre after like watching a couple shows, and that's the character I legitimately liked. When it came to Tsubasa and some other characters in the game, I didn't feel the same way because Tsubasa was literally just an aspiring idol that apparently got really popular really fast. I don't know how the hell you can get popular after one stage show, but okay. I mean,
she must have been doing some stuff behind the scenes, if you catch my drift.
But then again, the developers decide what we get, and down the line, it's like, you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TMS have Charlie Watts.
Okay. To explain what Andres just said, Charlie Watts is a character from Rondo, who you see in Chapter 2, randomly speaking English to the characters.
I came
to this park as the devils came up here.
He's a character in the game that speaks broken English, and
he's a Brit.
One of the apparently magically one of the main character's allies knows English and roughly translates it. And it's a little, I don't know, it's just weird. But then again, if you really want to fire SMT, you should really just look into the Majin Tensei games. I mean, they're untranslated, but there's translated guides, and if you know a little Japanese, good on you. The games are really good. I finished Majin Tensei 2. Majin Tensei 1 is easy. Majin Tensei 2 is it gets really bad towards the end. If you don't know what you're doing, I mean, I didn't know what I was doing, but I understand most of the story. It's down the line. It gets hard, really hard. And there was a one time, I think for the last map I completed, I was telling Patrick about this. I was like, it took me around like almost 100 turns or some shit to finish it. It was just bad. It was really bad. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend playing that game. I mean, if you can find a translated walkthrough and just read it.
I mean, to your defense, you playing neutral. You did the neutral route though, which is the longest one.
Yeah, and I mean the neutral route is the best route. It was really satisfying. I liked it.
Also, was there that one map where there was like sentries that there were like traps you weren't supposed to attack?
Oh yeah, in Majin Tensei, towards the end of the game or some scenes you would see.
I think it was halfway.
Yeah, it was halfway. You would see artillery, and they would have like 500 HP each. So whenever you would go up and you would like punch yourself right in front of them, as soon as the next turn hits, like because like it doesn't move, it's stationary, but it's like an AI, so it'll attack whatever it's in its range. It will one shot you actually, unless if you don't have some padded armor on you, it would shot you.
Okay,
Like,
so, well, we're getting a little too off topic, but we actually
Yeah.
got way off topic. But back to the whole anniversary thing, there's actually another game that hasn't been revealed yet that's on their website, and that's an SMT project for 3DS.
Yeah, this is just very true.
So
a lot of people are saying it's
a
it's a
remake
port?
of 1 and 2.
I don't think it's gonna be because they've remade 1 and 2 a lot. Unless they decide to make
Well, they haven't remade 1 and 2. They've ported
West.
1 and
in the West, they haven't like really just gave like official, unless like
Unless you
if
count
you count
the
the
iPhone version.
iOS one.
well, those aren't remakes, so those are just ports. Like
Right.
people want like an actual remake, which is
Yeah, people are thinking that it's going to be remade in the style of 4 and Apocalypse.
There's a lot of problems because whatever your stance is on SMT4, it had some story elements, but it would just be weird because, like, you think about it, when you look back at 1 and 2 and 3, some parts of 3, it's empty for the most parts, and then just seeing the main characters and everybody having emotion. I don't know, it would just be a weird thought, but I feel like it could work if it was done right. Um, Other than that, what I feel like what they might do, they might do like an anniversary cart or whatever, or they might have like two projects in one type of thing, like it's a semi thing, where they will have like the core game, and then they will have some, extra goodies type of thing, or they'll have like the core game, but then the core game would reference the events of 1, 2, 3, and 4 in it or something. I mean, I'm assuming that might be the case. And then with this 3DS project, it might have some connectivity with the actual HD project.
Right.
So that's my stance on it.
I mean, I would say I hope it's going to be Devil Survivor 3, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be mainline.
Yeah, it's most likely going to be mainline SMT 1, 2, and 3, and 4. I don't think it's going to be anything else. If they decide to bring back forgotten titles, so be it. Other than that, I don't think so.
I don't think it's going to be a new title because, I mean, the 3DS is... How old is it? It's like almost 6 years old.
They're still running it alongside. It's not a console phased out soon. It's probably one of the best consoles so far that Nintendo is holding up with it. However, it's getting hacked, so I don't know how long they're gonna have it run for.
I mean, I think the Switch is just gonna replace the 3DS, but if Nintendo continues to support the 3DS, then I suppose it's good for them.
Yeah.
But again, it's hacked. The 3DS is hacked to pieces. You can easily get pretty much any game for free, even before it's out.
Yeah, it's a big meme. So yeah, what are you guys' thoughts on just the remaster and not remaster, the projects in general? What do you think it's gonna be? You don't know?
I hope it's another. Another.
Another what?
I hope it's another Devil Summoner game. That's what I want.
Another Devil Summoner game.
I want.
As unlikely that may sound,
Devil
but
Summoner 1.
That would be nice.
Yeah, a remake of Devil Summoner
That
1
would be nice.
awesome.
However, it literally just like the mainline thing, the way they announced it, it's just weird to see them do that. But then again, I would love to see Devil Summoner 1 like remade. I mean, because I love Soul Hackers. Soul Hackers is probably one of my favorite Mega 10 games. I mean, I had so much like I don't know. It was
and it's an underrated title too.
Yeah, it's an underrated title. But when I first looked at the game, I was like, "Oh my god, it's so good!" Even though I used to judge it for its graphics, because back then, like I know a lot of people in the gaming community used to judge games on their graphics. Like you know how they have the time where they're like, they will do that, and then I'm like, it's a good thing I forgave Soul Hackers because I was so into like people just ingraining the facts about like it being like so shitty like graphically.
Well, for a Sega Saturn port, it looks pretty good.
I know, it looks really nice.
Like as a Sega Saturn port, it looks good and it plays fine, which is the most important thing.
And on top of that, it has 3D effects too, if you care about that.
Yeah.
That's... All right. I guess everybody has, said their piece of the 20th anniversary. We're gonna jump on to talking about the other project, the P Studio, the Persona Studio, Project Re Fantasy.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Project Re Fantasy.
So that was like prior to the Switch presentation, like prior, like right after when Persona 5 was released. They were like, Persona 5 is finally released. What now? They decided to start reimagining what. I guess they're trying to chirp out Final Fantasy. They want to make their own Final Fantasy, I guess.
Yeah.
They said something about medieval, or not really medieval, but like something about in that whole like old times RPG style.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is gonna be really. Like, and then
I'm really curious on what it's gonna be.
I have no.
All I know, Shoji Meguro is composing. Everybody from the Persona team is going to be doing. Whether it be like Persona, I don't know. I don't want it to be Persona.
It'll probably be somewhat like Persona.
If it was just Persona in another code of point, it'd be really disappointing. Even though people would eat it up, I would still be disappointed because it'd just be wasted opportunity.
Yeah, wasted opportunity.
Is also doing the artwork for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gotten better at drawing necks and whatnot, so. I don't know. The guy looks. The artwork looks the same through and through, in my opinion, but he's gotten better.
Yeah, he
still does those giraffe necks.
They're still existing in Persona 5. I mean, you don't see them, but you will see them. But yeah, like Project Re Fantasy, when they had a stream, they were just rambling. Like, they've got so many guest people on here. They were just talking. I was like, what is going on? Are they gonna work with this team, or are they just there to just put their thoughts in? That's what I want to know.
I watched this stream at like 5-6 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, hey, that's a thing. It's like they were all speaking in Japanese, and it's like all interviews and introducing like, hey, here's the accolades for Persona 5. It's like, why am I watching this again?
Yeah, because I was really hyped to see what this presentation was going to be about. So I had my computer set up the day of, and I woke up around like 4 o'clock. And I was like, I set up the stream, and I streamed it on Facebook, and I went back to sleep. So I told everybody who watched the stream while I was sleeping to tell me what the hell was going on. And then when I rewatched it back, I was like, this is it? This is what they had to say about this new title? I'm like, you rambled about Persona 5. Like, Get that out of the way. We don't care about that shit anymore. We want to know what this is all about.
Yeah, we want to know what this new game is about, and then they just didn't.
Yeah, they didn't really say anything. They just invited people on, really just to tell us their thoughts about Persona 5 and what other games they've played in the series, and what kind of high hopes they have for this game. But they haven't really shown us much other than reveal like the music and a sample music.
Yeah, I think we can say that this game is in real early stages of development.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this is kind of like an idea they pulled out. I bet you like Hashino was like woke up one day, it was like, yo, let's fucking chirp not Persona, well, let's fucking chirp Final Fantasy 15. We can probably do a better Final Fantasy 15 or some shit.
Oh, yeah, watch it get canceled or something.
Probably will.
Or turn into vaporware where we just don't hear from it ever again.
We probably won't. Because, like, it feels like it's so early to the point where it's like, you should really just reveal it when you have a concrete idea what you're doing. Because at this point, it's like you just randomly invited, key figures of the Japanese development industry for video games. And it's like, oh, well, yeah, they're here. What now? And
Let's
it's
talk
a little
about
iffy.
Persona.
It's still in the gray area at this point. It's something you really shouldn't worry about until when it has more information. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, there's nothing much I could say. You've got graphic, you've got like a scenery trailer and music. That's it.
Yeah.
Best case scenario, it can show Square Enix that you don't have to be Final Fantasy 15 to be relevant in the JRPG society.
Fuck Final Fantasy 15 while I'm at it.
Worst case scenario, it could be another fucking Tales clone.
Yeah, it could be.
Could be.
But
Lux Hysteria.
Oh, well, I haven't played any of the Tales series. I really haven't got just for it.
I only played 2. Hysteria and Grace F.
Grace's F is okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's fine. But why would you play 12? Why would you play Tales or Final Fantasy when you can just play Dragon Quest?
Okay.
And insert me shilling Dragon Quest.
It's okay, Patrick. It's fine.
I don't know, because action RPG though.
Okay.
Other than that, we can talk about future aspirations, I guess, and some minor speculation of what's going to happen. We're just going on our last topic.
Yeah.
We have Yamai and Hashino talking about their experiences back in 2016 and the new year forward. I know Hashino said some things about how they were finally done with Persona 5 and how, success and how it was getting really good reviews from Famitsu and, them winning an award at the Japanese PSN events or something. I don't know.
The
something
game
like
seems
that.
to be doing really well in Japan.
Yeah, Persona 5 has done their job. I mean, I wish I could say the same for Apocalypse, but Apocalypse was a sequel, and sequels tend to do bad.
And it did come out in the beginning of the year, so flashing forward a year later, it's like, oh, Apocalypse came out this year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So by the time February hit, Apocalypse did come out. Other than that, they Hoshino, he said that he wants to create the new game, which is Re-Fantasy. Re-Fantasy, we don't know. We still don't know what it is, and I don't know what he's gonna do. And I mean, I just don't want it to be Persona. On the other hand, you have Yamai, which is low key trying to hype us up in some form. Because I mean, the guy keeps saying secrets. He has something hidden, and he doesn't want us to see it. Like he's mentioned this like 2 or 3 times already.
He's dead ass trying to take Kaneko's spot for being the favorite Atlas employee.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Rip Kazuo
But
Kaneko.
like Yamai has been so great this year. Like the 2 years, like he's been a meme, okay? He's been like I don't know. And when I seen Yamai and him just on their streams and everything, it's like when you just see his smile, it's like I don't know. He's made a good game.
I mean,
like even when he was showing off Apocalypse, he had this big grin on his face.
I mean, like Candy Crush was his game of the year.
What?
Yeah. And if you reflect to Yoshino's favorite game, one of them's like fucking Dark Souls 3.
Wasn't it? Oh yeah,
Yes.
It was something like that. Something like he didn't mention something about like I know Yamai was hyped for Red Dead Redemption 2. But I feel like the reason why Yamai was I don't know what Yamai's reasoning behind mobile gaming, because he's been playing Pokemon Go and Candy Crush Saga for all of 2016. That's really weird, but yeah, this really weird coming out from somebody who really just enjoys just in general makes dark and edgy games like in the mainline series. It's like I don't know. Keep in mind, this guy has directed Strange Journey. And people will say like from Strange Journey, the writing style has degraded, but it hasn't actually. I feel like they all have good stories. Just people don't want to adapt to the language of what the game is. So that's all I can say from my mainline.
Well, I remember something you said a while ago where it's like mainline usually has empty stories and it's up to the player to fill that.
Yeah. I mean, it's the whole point of it. Like, it's like Kaneko giving you a pair of shoes and you need to wear them, but you need to experience the quality. Like, you need to build your own quality. You need, it's like a Build-A-Bear workshop, but not really. I don't know where I'm going with this.
Build a demon workshop.
Yeah. I don't know.
You can be like fucking Pumas, which are fucking shit, or you can have the top quality Tims, boy.
Yeah. You gotta have them Tims though.
Like you have this story that seems kind of empty, yet it has so much symbolism and imagery in it.
It's all up to a player to whether experience that or not.
Right.
I'm gonna say this. After Strange Journey, I'm pretty sure Kaneko didn't know where to put the series of SMT. That's why he put it to Yamai, which, because of the Switch event, it looks like that he has a pretty good vision of where SMT is going.
Yeah.
And hopefully with the marketing for the Switch and the marketing for the new SMT is going to help out the series in general. I mean, you would like to think that the marketing, you won't see mainline on TV shows. Like
you won't see in a Switch event.
You won't see like right after SpongeBob a trailer for SMT. Like that's not the reality of things.
Why would it? Okay.
Or Nickelodeon or whatever the fuck kids watch nowadays.
Like sports events.
Like
that's where a lot of games are advertised.
No. Why would a mature game be fucking shown on a kids network?
I don't know. They had Call of Duty show up on one. I swear to God.
I actually have seen mature games, like advertisements for them show up on kid stations when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Is it on Adult Swim or on?
No, not really.
No, it was like on Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network.
Heck, I even had like fucking Call of Duty show up on YTV.
Yeah. This happened to me, but this happened to me too back in the day.
So I mean, it's I mean, the marketing, of course, it's a niche game, but it will help out SMT in general. Like marketing or no marketing, whatever your stance is on marketing, it will either help or not. And it's not because of its the true nature of what SMT is. It's just has to be marketing done right, right? And so they can do it.
Atlas of Japan's future is quite high, even though we don't know what the Etrian Odyssey team is doing. But that's besides the point.
Yeah. Well, Etrian Odyssey. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
But for Atlas USA, I don't know.
Atlas USA will. I swear to God, Sega fucked them up so much. They've changed for the worst, in my opinion.
Like, I remember when Atlas or Sega bought Atlas, people were saying, "Oh, guess I better learn Japanese," because that was during a time when Sega was being really incompetent and not localizing our games. Well, we're still getting a lot of games, but it's definitely slowed them down.
And now it's the complete opposite, where Sega's being Atlas and Atlas is being Sega.
Right.
Hashtag make Atlas great again.
I mean, hell, at Tokyo Game Show, Sega just presented their stuff at Atlas's booth.
Yakuza Zero hype, boys.
Because they knew that because of the Western traction that Atlas has gained, that Sega can literally just like piggyback off of Atlas and say, "Yo, John Harden, you want to do a favor and localize Yakuza 0 for us?" And I was like, John Harden's like, "Yeah, sure, man, totally do it." Like that whole Apocalypse patch we had planned, like, fuck that shit, man. We're just gonna.
Oh yeah, I forgot that King of Fighters got a patch too.
That got a patch, but that was from SNK, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Atlas localized it.
So while we're talking about Sega, I have one thing to say.
What would that be?
Where the hell is PSO2?
Fantasy Star.
Fantasy Star Online too.
It's been almost 5 years.
Just rip Fantasy Star in general.
It probably will come.
Yeah.
But through Atlas.
Yeah, but
it'll probably be the biggest need. First, it's gonna be Yakuza, and then it's gonna be other dead franchise.
Yeah, but there's like already private servers for like Bluebirds, like Ultima and Universe, like Clementine.
Flash forward, April 4th, 2017. Last day, they deadass cancel Persona 5, but they dropped a translation of Fantasy Star Online 2.
I wish that happens. I don't give a fuck about Persona 5 anymore, to be honest.
Financially it would be suicide.
And then Atlas transfers everyone's Persona 5 pre-orders to Fantasy Star Online 2 bonus content.
Or I don't know financially, but morally it would be suicide for Atlas.
I mean, of course it would, but it'd be the greatest. Atlas would become the greatest meme whoever died.
It would be the greatest meme ever.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if like 1 or 2 weeks before the release of Persona 5 in North America, they just delayed it again.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of depends, like, about the embargo stuff, but that's besides the point.
Yeah. All right, I guess. Anybody else have anything to say? I mean, I'm totally out of things to talk about, but yeah, that's
3DS port SMT1, developed by the people who made Etrian Odyssey. Make it happen, guys.
Oh god, no.
Well, you can't. Okay, like you can't like get a different team to direct a port. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
All right. Also, announcement: since we're not really getting any emails anymore, we don't have any questions now. But for the future, all the questions are going to be in the SMT Facebook group. That's where we're gonna ask for questions.
Announcement: we have a special guest whenever we do the next episode.
Oh yeah.
Co-host of Cathedral of Shadows, not Rosin. Katsu will be in the next episode.
Maybe not the next episode, but like sometime
But
in the
then,
future.
Yeah.
but the next episode after that, it depends when we have it. But yeah, for sure he's gonna be, a key member, I guess, on the next one. I totally don't know what we're gonna be talking about. I hopefully we'll have something prepared, and yeah, I guess just make the guy welcome, pretty much. Yeah, and if people who are listening, if you guys want to be, featured on here, let us know down in the comments, if you guys are interested. Um, I'd totally like to have most of the key members in the SMT community on YouTube, Twitter, wherever you may be. Um, yeah, just let us know. Like, totally love to talk to you guys. Yeah. Other than that, like the whole merge thing, hopefully everything is going well. Just rough spots on the Facebook side of things. Twitter, like, honestly, I don't know what to say about Twitter, but like, if I don't think, does Heretic Mansion have a Twitter?
No, we don't. I mean, I guess I could make one. I've never
I
used
mean,
Twitter.
well,
Yeah.
I mean, you could, but then you could just use the one I created
just-
for.
How
Like, I
many
mean,
followers do you have?
we've gained some traction on it, but then again, hopefully, if we have this merger thing going on, hopefully we'll gain more with it.
Okay. Well, if you guys are like only on Twitter and you just want to talk to us over there, tweet Neos about it.
Yeah, tweet me or tweet the SMT Amala Network podcast. Like, it's literally at SMT Amala Network or something. You just search it up. It has like a icon of. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Other than that, like, yeah, thanks for listening.
Yeah.
John, totally hyped for the future of Heretic Mansion,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
yeah, hopefully we can go far with this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, by the way, to clear things up, Catherine did use Persona 5 did use the same mention as Catherine.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, guys, see you next time.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.